Hey, Jason Rice here, Lotpop with another Lotparty tip. You know, it's funny when they do these lives, I don't get anybody's comments popping up until I pretty much finish it. So if anybody's chiming in, sorry if it doesn't seem like I'm replying to you. I haven't done one of these in a little bit and needed to talk about turnaround. I just got off the phone with Dennis again, Recon T2L, time to line, how fast you get in cars. He's from Rapid Recon. If you guys don't know them, the best recon turnaround time tracking tool out there. A lot of our dealers use it. We're trying to collaborate more on how to get their reporting data into our reporting data, because that's the subject of my title. And same with them. They work with dealers to get the turnaround time quicker. So let's say they get you from 7 days down to 3 or 5 days. That should make your turnaround, your inventory turn faster and more profitable. But on our end, we try to get dealers to sell 60 to 70% of their sales in the first 30 days. And if they don't get the turnaround time done, it won't work, and vice versa. If they get guys turnaround time down to 3 or 5 days, but yet they price too high, their photos and descriptions are horrible, their dealers aren't gonna make as big of a turnaround time either. So we're both talking to each other, trying to figure out a way to collaborate. Because as we were helping dealers throughout the years, one of the things I realized is we can make an inventory and a dealer look really well. We can get a dealer's age gone within 30, 60 days, depending on how fast they want to pull the Band-Aid off. And we've done that with a lot of dealers, is we've cleaned their inventory up. And I thought when I first started this company to help dealers, it was going to be more like hiring a physical trainer, and we're going to help you turn that inventory around and get in shape. But what I realized is we were more like dietitians. We helped them clean up their inventory, and they looked good in the mirror. They can hold their fat pants up and say, I lost 50 pounds, and their age is gone. But their grosses were still suffering because they're selling cars later in the cycle. They can only get 50% of their sales in the first 30 days, and 30 or 40% of their sales were still coming off of cars 30 to 60 days old. And the reason why was the turnaround time. You couldn't get the turnaround time done fast enough. We get their volume up, we get their age clean, but their volume goes up. They start buying more cars, and they're trying to put 20 cars into a turnaround time that's used to only handling 10 cars. So even though we got the inventory cleaned up and the volume's going, they're not making gross. And so, like I said, back to a dietitian, we're more like Jenny Craig. We can make you look good, but the dealers couldn't do 10 push-ups or run a mile because they conditionally, strength-wise, wasn't there. And it's all about turnaround time. And so even if you have great turnaround time, 3 or 5 days, what's the point of bringing your turnaround time from 10 days down to 3 days or 5 days if you're going to waste it on pricing your cars wrong, to photos and descriptions wrong, to just not watching those metrics? And that's where the first 30 comes into play. If you can focus on the first 30, I'm going to be speaking next week at Auto Remarketing's Used Car Week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Check it out if you're going to be there, about the importance of first 30. If you track your first 30, get that turnaround, get that sales, 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, which means you have to have 60 to 70% of your inventory there to sell it. It's a whole trickle-down effect. That's what I'm going to be going over in that workshop. Once you can try to push 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, that forces you to be better at turnaround time. But if you're just going to focus on turnaround time and not get 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, you're not going to be that beast. I compare that to like CrossFit, where you're doing both endurance and muscle strength, and you become that beast in the market that no one can stop. You're not the dealer complaining about their gross and volume. You're the one doing it, and everybody's wondering what the hell you're doing. So it goes hand in hand. If you have a great turnaround time, but you're not getting 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, you're not making the gross that you can be making. You're going to be at least $150 to $500 per car shy. Okay. So your gross can go up easily. If you got a 3 to 5 day turnaround time, but 30, 40% of your sales are going out after 30 days, if you can flip that to 60 to 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, your gross will easily go up at least 150, if not 500 a copy. Vice versa. If we're helping you clean up your inventory, you're moving it fast, and you go out and buy, and you're trying to, and you don't have a turnaround time, and you go from having a decent one, 7 to 10 days, or 5 to 7 days up to 10, 14 days, because your volume was there. We're getting you cleaned up, and then you're buying in a bigger chunks of cars and trading more cars into a turnaround time that doesn't have the process in place. You're not going to make the gross either, because you're going to push and not sell a big chunk of your cars. And then, so it goes hand in hand. So I wanted to talk about that because, again, getting off the phone with Dennis, I know a lot of his stores that he's gotten better with turnaround time still struggle to see a big benefit in gross and stuff because they're not marketing the cars right. On our end, we're getting cars marketed right and getting the turnaround going, but our hands are tied because the dealer's not getting the turnaround time going. So it's very, very important. And he was talking about how the T2L, or the time to line, is the key. And I agree with him. It's like internet process. I'm going to set up an internet process and people, and then get the leads. I'm not going to go buy a bunch of leads and get them into a process that's screwed up, and I'm not calling an email and following up, and leads are sitting there getting cold, and all I'm doing is cherry picking the low-hanging fruit. Get your process right, handle what you can handle, and then get more leads. And same thing with time to line, turnaround time. You can, you want to sell more cars, you want to make more gross, you want to make more volume, you got to get that turnaround time process right. Then let's pick up the volume and then start feeding the beast. And then now you're starting to hum. So turnaround time is key. Like I said, I'm going to try to figure out a way to collaborate more with that and help dealers with it. But if I don't care how good your inventory works, if your turnaround time sucks, you're missing gross. And I don't care how good your turnaround time is, if that's good, but your marketing sucks, you're going to continue to. You might have a great operation, but I'm telling you, you can be making more money and more volume if both of these things. If you had a 3 to 5 day turnaround time, selling 65%, 70% of your sales in the first 30 days, you'll be crushing it in whatever market you're in, whatever franchise, independent, highline, whatever you're at, you'll be crushing it. And so that's what I wanted this tip to be about. First 30, I have these wristbands. Matter of fact, this box sitting right here, take a look at all these wristbands in here, and this was my receipt from my last time. Is like 20 something people I sent. That one guy asked for 100 of them. Tell me if you want some, 3, 4, 5, 20, whatever. If you get your team to look at these wristbands every day, focusing on the first 30 and giving them a purpose to, again, make more money, sell more cars, focusing on that first 30 will, again, force you better turnaround time. It's just all over. If you want some, I send them out for free. That's not a ton of money for me to do it. So let me know. I got a ton here. I'll be speaking again, Used Car Week next Tuesday at 10. If you're there, please attend. I have Lotpop University is happening the 19th and 20th next week, in November. Go to lotpop.com, go to events. I got 2 slots left. I got 3 people. We only try to do 5 people in our workshop. If you're a client, it's free. If not, the charges are on there. We got hotel information. It's right here in my office. I spend 2 full days with you, and we go through all the metrics. You don't have to be a client, but I'll pull your data. I'll show you where you're at. I'll show you what to track and trend. You can do it yourself. And so it's a good workshop just to, again, get your feet 2 days to get an understanding of what you need to do to get better, looking at what metrics and what's important and what's not. If you're interested, check that out. Got 2 slots left. See you next week at Used Car Week, not maybe Lotpop U. Other than that, hope this is helpful. Get a free inventory evaluation at lotpop.com, or these all, if you're on YouTube, there's going to be a pop-up here for other tips. There'll be a pop-up here to subscribe. We put these all on YouTube. There's 160 plus videos. I load them up into podcasts, so iTunes or any other podcast should hold it, either Lotpop or Lotparty. You should be able to find it if you want to listen to them. Again, hope this is helpful. Let me know if you need anything.